Hey, it's Melissa Greer with Berkshire Hathaway Yost&Little in Greensboro. Today we're going to talk about what to expect when you're buying a historic property. Normally, historic properties are close to downtown areas, and those are really popular areas, especially with a downtown that's growing like Greensboro is. So they come on the market, but not often. And when they do, it's a very competitive situation. So it's really very valuable to buy a historic home and get one, but sometimes, especially in our recent market, it's been challenging for buyers. I love historic properties because they all tell a story. Most of them are named after the first or second families that either built them or lived in them. I even listed one that was in the same exact family from 1910 that owned it. And that was awesome because you could see original wallpaper in a dining room that was actually really pretty. And a lot of features that you see in newer homes, but they originated back in the day. So I love historic properties. I love to work with Preservation Greensboro and learn about the ones that we sell. And I think the material and the quality of what's in them is so important. There are different kinds of historic properties, though. Neighborhoods can be on a National Historic Register, and if that's the case, there are requirements where they have to use materials that are very similar to what they used when they were built, and those are expensive. So sometimes a downside to historic neighborhoods is that it's very expensive to maintain them because you have to use materials that are a little bit specific, like wooden windows instead of replacement windows. So that is one thing, but again, people who love historic neighborhoods love that about them. Whenever we're looking at historic properties, I always try and look for structural issues or any red flags. One thing that is really important is a lot of these homes have something called galvanized piping for plumbing. There's a shelf life on that that's about 100 years. I never thought I'd say this because when I started selling real estate, there weren't properties that were 100 years old in Greensboro, but now they are. And so we really do look at that. It's not a big deal, and most plumbers will replace those as they fail, but that's the kind of thing, if you deal in historic properties, you want to check on anything that might be a problem for your client. I think the biggest thing that people need to realize is that most of the time people buy a historic home and renovate it. And normally you can do anything you want on the inside. The outside and the appearance is where you have to be careful and get it approved through a historic commission. But no, most of the historic homes, except for the one that was with the original family, and even that one had a new kitchen. So I think the cool thing about historic homes is you can go in them and everything's brand new inside, but it was built in 1900. So it gives you the best of both worlds. You get the charm, but you get all the features that are current. Looking for a historic home is really no different than any other type of home. You just want to make sure that you get an agent that's really familiar with historic properties or knows the area real well. And most every agent in a smaller city is going to be well versed on every kind of property, whether it's new construction or older. And then I think you just have to pick out certain neighborhoods that you like the feel of. There is another class of historic homes that is not regulated as much, and it's more a historic neighborhood that's older but doesn't have the requirements. So you can do replacement windows and things like that. And some people prefer that because it's a little bit easier to maintain those homes. But all in all, it's a great way to go, and it is really fun to know the story of a house that you live in that becomes your home. So if you love homes with heavy moldings, trim work, tall ceilings, lots of windows, a historic home that's in good condition might be a perfect fit for you. That's certainly why I love them. I've lived in a home that was built in the 20s. I live in one now that is not technically historic, but it was built in the 40s. So I love them, but I think that you can make them just like a new house. So definitely give us a call if we can help you find a historic property. We'd love to do that. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.